Maryscott Greenwood is a Democratic strategist. She also served as an advisor to President Bill Clinton during his time at the White House. Maryscott Greenwood joins me now once again from the convention in Philadelphia. Maryscott, welcome to you.
Thank you. Good to be with you, Carol.
One of the headlines today in the New York Times is Sanders supporters throw convention into disarray. Why can't Bernie Sanders get those supporters to support Hillary Clinton?
You know, Carol, I think some of them will never come to Hillary Clinton. Some of them supported Bernie Sanders just because of his outsider message. Remember, he's not a Democrat. He's a socialist, and he had a very outsider message. But the majority of them, I think polling today says 90% of them will come. But they have options. They've got the Libertarian candidate. They've got the Green candidate. And the other thing, Carol, is I think you got to give them a minute, right? I mean, this was a hard-fought battle. He did really well. Let them have their moment tonight in the roll call, and let them get through the week and then really compare and contrast Donald Trump with Hillary Clinton, and hopefully most of them will come along.
Is that going to be a problem for her that she is seen as part of the establishment?
You know, I think it depends on how she defines the narrative of the campaign, right? Mike Pence said it really well when he called her the secretary of the status quo. Nothing could be further from the truth. We've never had a woman president, as you know, and so it will be a dramatic change, but she's got to really embrace that and define it that way. And if she can do that, and if people feel like they want to continue Barack Obama's progressive agenda, then she'll be okay. If people are really upset, and as Newt Gingrich says, they just want to flip the table, then Donald Trump has a much better chance.
Yeah, now people believe that it doesn't help what happened with the DNC. Now people believe, those Bernie Sanders supporters and others believe that, you know, Debbie Wasserman Schultz and the DNC stole the nomination from Bernie.
You know what, Carol, that is so inside baseball. I think very few actual people would know anything about the apparatus of the Democratic National Committee, let alone who the chair is. And it's like when you're at the Super Bowl, wanting to watch your players on the field score the touchdown, do the dab, and instead somebody's trying to talk to you about the commissioner of the NFL. Nobody cares about the commissioner of the NFL. They just want to see good football. And I think the same is true in our democracy. People want to see the contrast between Hillary and Trump and the third party. And I think this nonsense over Debbie Wasserman Schultz is already over. And you know who really put it to bed? Michelle Obama. Wasn't she extraordinary?
I know. I just want to take you up on that
point. Come on, Carol. She was great.
She was great. And I want to talk about Michelle Obama in a second.
Yeah.
But we saw the booing. We saw Debbie Wasserman Schultz. It was enough. It was upsetting people enough. They knew enough about this insider baseball to take her off that stage. They knew enough that she couldn't gavel in the convention. A lot of people paid attention to that.
Oh, no, you're right. People here in Philly, people in this room, people in this area absolutely acutely focus on it. I'm just talking about people who are not as intensely involved as people who would show up in Philadelphia. So I'm talking about real voters and people sort of out there in America. Those are the people that I think don't really care about the insider shenanigans. And meanwhile, by the way, she's gone, right? I think she should also deal with the staff members. But that's yesterday's news. And I really think the party will move forward. It's unfortunate. It was a hiccup. It's not. I guarantee you, it is not the way Hillary Clinton wanted to start this convention. But you know what? 4 days is an eternity, and between now and November is an eternity plus. So I think we'll be okay.
Now we can talk about Michelle Obama. What do you think she What do you think she accomplished last night, Maryscott?
Well, I don't think it's partisan to say that she crushed it. I mean, she talked as a mother and as a black woman. Yeah. I mean, what she was able to do is something that's really hard. She was able to thread the needle for Hillary Clinton to talk about how important it is for our country to continue the legacy of her husband, Barack Obama. And that's something that only Michelle could do. And she owned the room. There was protesting going on all day. There were chants at Elizabeth Warren. There was booing whenever Bernie Sanders mentioned Hillary's name. Even Cory Booker, whom I happen to adore when he's talking about love, couldn't get everybody's attention. But when Michelle Obama was speaking, you could hear a pin drop. She's a very powerful person, and she rocked it last night.
Okay, Donald Trump, let's talk about him. Sad to watch Bernie Sanders abandon the revolution. He went on to say this. Take a look. I'll read the board for your benefit, Maryscott. soon as we put that board up there. Hard to believe that Bernie Sanders has done such a complete fold. He got nothing for all of the time, energy, and money. He goes on to say the VP is a joke. We'll leave that aside. But what do you make of Donald Trump's comments? And these aren't the only comments he made along that line, that Bernie Sanders has abandoned the revolution.
You know, Carol, it might not surprise you to know that I would respectfully disagree with Mr. Trump on this. I think Bernie Sanders accomplished a lot. He brought a lot of young people into our party. But the other thing he did that's even more important is he advanced the platform. He really fought for things he cares about, like affordable college education. That's meaningful. And that is now something that Hillary Clinton has to deliver. And so he, of course, didn't do this for nothing. There's nobody, as he said last night, Bernie said, there's no one more disappointed than Bernie Sanders. But it's time to move forward, and it's really time for the party to focus on what's at stake. And I think all Democrats and independents would agree that there's a lot, and maybe the whole world, that there's a lot at stake, and maybe too much to allow, Mr. Trump to try to run the place.
Maryscott, what do you expect from, you were advisor to Bill Clinton during his time in the White House. What do you expect from him tonight?
I can't wait. You know, when Bill Clinton spoke in Charlotte, if you were in the room, he worked on his speech really late. My colleague Gordon Giffen was there with him, and what's funny is the Obama people said you've got to submit your speech in advance, and so that's pretty hilarious to ask the former president to do, but he did it. He submitted the speech, and the Obama people sent it back to him with a lot of edits, took out about a third of it, and so when Bill Clinton walked out there in Charlotte, he ended up delivering a barn burner. It was a better speech even than Barack Obama himself gave. Obama then called him the explainer-in-chief, or the secretary of explaining stuff, I guess is what the president said. But so anyway, Bill Clinton will have to top his performance in Charlotte. I know he's focused on that, and I have faith. Elvis is pretty good, and I can't wait to see what he says last night. He's now competing against Michelle Obama, and it's game on. I think he'll do a great job.
All right, Democratic strategist Maryscott Greenwood. We're all looking forward to that speech tonight, and the others as well. Thank you for joining me from the convention in Philadelphia, Maryscott. I'm sure we'll be speaking again.
Thanks a lot, Carol. You should be here, except it's a little too hot. That's the only bad news.
It's hot here in Toronto, too.